Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unlocking a hidden psychological superpower. It's a tool hidden right in plain sight, right in the middle of our most intense conversations and highest stakes moments. For the focused learner who wants to genuinely understand human dynamics, mastering this concept is going to completely change how you interact with the world.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever looked around during a tense meeting or a really heated argument and asked yourself, who actually holds the most power in this room? We all have these preconceived notions about what authority looks like, but the reality is often the exact opposite of what we'd expect.
We're constantly sold this absolute myth about power. We are taught that it's about being the loudest voice, dominating the space, ensuring you have the absolute last word, and reacting instantly to every single challenge thrown your way. It's fast, it's frantic, and honestly, it's exhausting. But the counterintuitive truth, the reality backed by psychology, is something much more dangerous and potent. It's the incredibly quiet power of the strategic pause.
Let's look at Section 1, Survival versus Reasoning, the biology of reactions. Because, frankly, our brains are wired from birth with a fundamental glitch. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening. During a conflict, your brain undergoes a literal hijacking, specifically an amygdala hijack. In survival mode, your brain responds instantly to threats, driven entirely by raw emotion and impulse rather than wisdom. When someone insults you or a situation goes totally sideways, your emotional alarm system just grabs the steering wheel. But the moment you create a 3-second gap, you activate reasoning mode. You allow your prefrontal cortex, the logical, thinking part of your brain, to step in, override that alarm system, and take back control.
Which brings us to Section 2, the mental gap. 3 seconds to smart. Let's look at the specific mechanics of how extremely high IQ individuals literally hijack their own biology.
Consider this the classified dossier for our superpower. It's called cognitive inhibition. It is the precise psychological ability to stop an automatic emotional reaction and consciously choose a deliberate response instead. This isn't just some neat social trick to look calm. No way. It is one of the absolute rarest traits found in extremely high IQ individuals, and it literally rewires your brain for higher intelligence.
3. That is the magic number. Just a simple 3-second gap. That tiny sliver of time is the entire bridge between a helpless emotional reaction and absolute executive control. It seems too simple, but it is deeply profound.
So the crucial point is how we process an event chronologically. Step 1 is the provocation. You know, the insult, the crisis, the sudden email, everyone faces this. But step 2 is where the magic happens, the mental gap. While everyone else is rushing to defend their fragile ego, the highly intelligent mind is mentally zooming out. They are evaluating the long-term consequences of what they're about to say before they even say it, and that empowers them to choose step 3, a completely deliberate response.
I want to make something very clear here. Slowing down like this is not a weakness. It is a massive display of high executive control, which is the brain system responsible for planning and restraint. By slowing down, you aren't showing fear, you are displaying a level of cognitive stamina that most people simply don't possess.
Let's shift to Section 3, the observer advantage and the power of silence. Because the power of silence and the sheer awkwardness of it is actually an incredible defensive weapon.
There is a brilliant rule of thumb in psychology. Talking gives information out. Listening brings information in. Most people feel a crushing pressure to fill every single silence because they find it painfully awkward. But for a high-functioning mind, that silence is a highly calculated tool for data collection.
In this observer state, you start to notice hidden behavior patterns. You easily spot social signals that everyone else missed simply because they were too busy speaking. You stop judging people at the surface level, you start understanding their true motivations, and ultimately, you become significantly harder to manipulate. This brings us to Section 4, silent discipline and long-term habits. Because this isn't just about winning a momentary argument. It's about what psychologists call the most formidable level of mental conditioning.
There is a stark contrast between amateur and elite discipline. Emotional hype is the amateur level. It relies on shouting your goals, showing off, and needing a massive dopamine rush just to get started. Automaticity, that's elite. This is training your habits to run completely on autopilot without needing any emotional hype to trigger them.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the concept of implementation intention. By practicing the 3-second pause, you create a fixed plan that turns a volatile reaction into a deliberate habit. You are quite literally training your brain to say, "Not now, later." And that ability to delay gratification is directly linked to higher IQ scores and vastly superior real-world decision-making. So let's be absolutely clear on what this all means. The pause is not a sign of coldness. It's not shyness. It is absolute mental flexibility. It is the ultimate proof that you are the one in control of your mind, not the situation. When you master the pause, you stop making impulsive, emotional choices and you start making intelligent ones.
We've covered the science and the strategy. Now it's time for Section 5, the Control Challenge, taking this from theory to practice in the real world.
Evaluate yourself honestly right now. Are you in control of your mind? The next time someone throws a casual insult your way, or you feel that sudden urge to scroll mindlessly on your phone, who is actually driving your actions? Is it you or your survival impulses?
Because of that, here is my direct challenge to you today. I'm going to give you a very counterintuitive instruction. I do not want you to subscribe right now. Instead, when this explainer ends, I want you to close it, wait for your next provocation, practice that 3-second gap, prove to yourself unequivocally that an algorithm or an insult cannot control you. Go out and prove your own cognitive strength.
We aren't here for the hype, we are here for real transformation. If you find yourself coming back to our channel because you actively chose to, and not because you were just looking for a quick distraction, well, then hit that subscribe button. But until then, I leave you with this. When the pressure spikes today and everyone else loses their cool, what will you do with your next 3 seconds?